Welcome back to Couch Potato General Manager, CPGM Interactive Mock Draft 2018. The Green Bay Packers are on the clock. They traded down with the Bengals. Bengals went up and acquired quarterback Baker Mayfield from Oklahoma. Drew, Headley, what are Green Bay thinking right now? What are the Packers going to do with this pick at 21?
I mean, we talked about it, earlier when they had the pick before. Marcus Davenport, defensive end, that's what they need. Also, secondary help, man. Jari Alexander's still on the board. He's the number one corner on my draft board, on Headley's draft board. So
with the acquisition, with the trade with the Bengals, they acquired William Jackson.
Yeah. You can never have enough corners.
Absolutely.
I understand where you're coming from. William Jackson's going to be a starter. They have Kevin King on the other side, who actually had a good season last year. So, hey, man, you can never have enough corners, but...
Yeah, I think they're in an excellent position. They traded down. They need that pass rusher. Marcus Davenport still on the board. So, I think they did a fine job to acquire an extra pick, acquired William Jackson, which they needed help in the secondary. And I think the pick right here should be a pass rusher, probably Marcus Davenport.
All right. Well, the pick is in, and it is Marcus Davenport from University of Texas, San Antonio. Drew, what are your thoughts on this particular prospect?
Raw.
What do you mean by that?
He needs to be polished. He's got some work to do.
Raw, real raw. I second the rawness. I think he has the frame. He's long. He's built. 6'6", 260. So he played in a smaller conference with the level of competition. A lot of times on tape, man, he used that bull rush. He just overpowered offensive tackles. So let's see how he transitions to the next level. It's going to be bigger, stronger players he has to go up against. So we'll see if he could, adjust to that.
All right. The one thing I can say about Green Bay, just talking about the organization, is that the boys they do a lot of development. I know obviously Ted Thompson is out, and they've gone in a different direction in terms of their GM, quote unquote president.
Sure.
But they develop talent. So this may be a match made in heaven. In terms of getting Marcus Davenport polished.
Definitely, and he doesn't have to go out there right away and give them double-digit sacks. I know they do need help at pass rushing, but they have Nick Perry, Clay Matthews is still out there that could teach him a few moves. Because I think he needs to work on his secondary moves. Once he gets that down, he could be a 15-sack monster out there.
All right.
The Buffalo Bills, think about their head coach, Sean McDermott. He's a Carolina Panther disciple. They focus a lot on the front seven of their defense. So I think Buffalo could also need help. They traded Marcel Darius last season, and they couldn't stop the run. So D-tackle, Vita VA, he's still on the board.
Wow.
Or a linebacker, man. So, they have a lot of options. They have a lot of needs. Even a trade down right here, that wouldn't be a bad idea either because they have so many needs.
Gotcha.
Deron Payne. How about Deron Payne? You said Vita Vea. Like you said, they couldn't stop the run.
They bring in Star Lotulelei. Obviously, McDermott has some experience with him. You think put another guy right next to him and ensure that thing helps.
But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they went receiver here. You call it. What do you call it? What do you call Buffalo?
Siberia for receivers.
Sammy Watkins is a prime example of that. You got your pick of the litter here, man, because we got teams taking Cortland Sutton.
Wow.
Oh.
Sounds like there might be a trade.
Yeah, there's a trade. There's a trade coming in. What? Okay, it looks like we got a 4-team trade. We got NBA style going on here at the interactive mock draft. Listen, we have the Chiefs, we have the Browns, we have the Eagles, and we have the Bills. The Chiefs are getting the 22nd overall pick. The Browns are getting a slew of players. They're getting Brandon Graham, D. Ford, Michael Kendricks, Charkandrick, West, and a 2019 fifth-round pick from the Bills.
Quite the haul right there.
Eagles getting the Eagles are getting picks. They're getting compensation.
A lot of picks.
They're getting the 64th overall pick from Cleveland, the 86th pick from KC, the 96th pick from Buffalo, the 114th pick from Cleveland. We got some water. I'm parched.
Wow.
166th pick from Buffalo.
Push through.
And the Bills' 2019 third-round pick.
Let me stop you just there. So what that indicates is that the Eagles are trading out of the first round. They had no more picks in the first 2 rounds, and they just brought in a haul, a second-round pick and about 3 third-round picks, as well as a couple, or at least one future pick on day 2 of next year.
You know, it's crazy. The Eagles are one of those teams where, you know, usually when you go to the Super Bowl, you know, and if you're equipped to take up the mantle again, you don't really need the draft. And this may be the best team I've ever seen come out of a Super Bowl and ready to. There's no reload, there's no reset. It's just we're ready to do it again.
Yeah, looks like they just, you know, they may not be able to get Brandon Graham and Michael Kendrick signed, expiring contracts. Go ahead and get something back for them so they can replenish their depth.
Hey man, Eagles GM is a genius. And the Bills, they're getting this 32nd overall pick, last pick in the draft. Duke Johnson, 78th pick from KC, and the Browns 2019 third round pick.
Wow, man. I don't even know. It's a beautiful mind right here, man. I don't know how they even came together to do all of this.
Russell Crowe.
But it's done.
Yeah,
It's done. And pretty much the Chiefs traded up to number 22 overall. They really like somebody on the board. Buffalo traded back and added Duke Johnson and some picks. So Duke Johnson is a kind of a Deshaun McCoy fallback or replacement. McCoy's getting a little older.
He does get hurt.
You know, he gets hurt also. The Eagles are getting rid of a lot of players that's on, you know, their last year of their deal that they might not be able to re-sign, getting a lot of picks back.
Sure.
And the Browns, they're getting a lot of players. They're getting bodies. They're getting Brandon Graham, D Ford, Michael Kendrick. That's like 3 starters. Three starters on their defense.
Who we know does things like this? New England. Getting players that, you know, we're not going in the draft and we're not picking up players in the draft. We're going to get proven commodities, people
Absolutely.
we know, the things that they can do. We're going to put them in those positions to succeed. So, you know, there's no wasted time. We know exactly what you can't do and what you can do based off of the film. So
Clearly the mindset for the Browns, Saxonville Psycho, is we need to win now. We need to win now. They went and grabbed a running back.
yeah.
Of all positions, they went and grabbed a running back first overall. We understand how immense a talent Saquon Barkley is, but certainly to take a running back first overall, you have to have a plan, and their plan seems to be coming into fruition. It's coming together here. You add Brandon Graham, who was the hero of the Super Bowl. You know, D Ford offers a lot of pass rushing potential once he's healthy. Michael Kendricks is a quality starter. Charkondrick West is a nice role player, and then you add a 5th round pick, and who knows what the Browns will do with that in 2019. So yeah, you know, over the years the Browns have accumulated a lot of draft assets, but they haven't panned out.
No.
So you take a page out of the Patriots book and get guys that have proven commodities, that have NFL film and have played at a high level. It's really impressive, and it's really quite amazing how 4 teams were able to come together to make this deal happen.
NBA style.
Absolutely. So the pick is in, and the Chiefs have wasted no time. They select Ronnie Harrison. That's going to be the 4th player from Alabama selected in the first 22 picks. Safety. What do you guys think about this pick? I find it a little curious.
Yeah. They traded up, gave up some draft picks for Ronnie Harrison that you know, it could have been there in the 2nd round for them to pick. You know, we don't know that, but at the same time, you know, yeah, you know, at the same time, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm kind of puzzled by this. I know, you know, Eric Berry, he's going to be paired next to Eric Berry. Ronnie Harrison he's one of those battle players that he can come forward. He comes forward really fast, but can he go backwards? Can he perform at the moment of truth? You know, we always question Bama DBs. Can they do that? I'm not sure if this guy could do that, because what you're trying to say here is Eric Berry's coming up to be in the box. This guy's going to be the predominantly high safety.
Yeah, I don't know about the pick. You know, it's strange to me. I mean, you gave up a D Ford. You're not going to replace a D Ford, I guess. It's strange, man. I don't understand it. I need some answers.
Well, what do you think about the prospect, Drew, in particular? Headley questions his ability to track the football, make plays in the passing game. What do you think about his prospect in a league that keeps on that continues to trend in terms of the ball being put up in the air and pass attempts?
I mean, he's coming from Bama, where the front 7 is the most important piece, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just got a question mark on Ronnie Harrison.
Question mark.
We'll see. Well, I mean, maybe this GM at MySean J14, he knows something we don't know.
I think this is one of those things where you fall in love with a player. Damn the draft board, damn the need. We're gonna go get this player because I've fallen in love with him, and this looks like that's the case here.
That may have been the case 2 years in a row now. I mean, they went and they pushed their chips to the middle of the table to go get Patrick Mahomes, let him sit for a year. They moved Alex Smith to Washington. They didn't have a pick in the first round. They decided to be a part of a 4-team trade that won the likes of we've never seen before. And then they select Ronnie Harrison. But it is a little curious when you have guys like Vita VA on the board, Isaiah Wynn, Deron Payne. There's some guys that I think we feel more comfortable in terms of what we know that they're going to be able to do. But then again, we don't know. This is an inexact science. Ronnie Harrison may be the steal of this draft.
Like Headley said, though, I think you're taking a guy who, coming downhill is his game. And now you're going to ask him to play back? I mean, he doesn't have Alabama in front of him. They're not playing the SEC every week, KC.
Any chance they have Eric Berry play high a little bit more often, maybe to keep him healthy?
Might be interchangeable, but
sure.
I don't like this pick for the Kansas City Chiefs. Be quite honest with you, they're in a kind of a mini rebuild mode right now, and they need a lot of players. A lot of players have left that organization. They need to gain more players, but they trade away even more players and picks just to go up to get Ronnie Harrison that could have been there for them in the second round.
All right. Well, we're trucking right along, and the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. Seattle traded down a little bit earlier in this draft with the Los Angeles Rams. They're not on the clock. We've talked about it previously. Protect the franchise, get some guys out in front of Russell Wilson. Maybe actually have a running game. Now that Marshawn Lynch has moved on, they haven't necessarily been able to run the football. Maybe take a little pressure off of Russell Wilson. That's my thought process. The pick is well, actually no, we have a trade.
Another trade.
We have another trade.
This is crazy.
It looks like Steelers are trading up. They're going to get the Seahawks pick at 23. The Seahawks will receive the Steelers pick at 28, as well as a 2019 second round. What do you think about this trade here? And what are the Steelers? Why did they need to move up 5 picks?
I think for Seattle, I think it's one of those things where there's so many offensive linemen on the board that, this is my thought, that there's so many offensive linemen on the board because that's their greatest need, protect the franchise, that they can afford to move back 5 spots and scoop a second round pick in 2019. I would have preferred it been this year. Sure. But you take what you can get, right?
Of course.
As for Pittsburgh, man, I'm not sure here, man. I can't wait to see what the pick is, man.
I think the 2 biggest needs is middle linebacker and corners. Joe Hayden's getting older. We don't know about Ryan Shazier. So I think those are the 2 biggest needs. Leighton Vander Esch is still on the board, and Jair Alexander is still on the board. So I'm thinking they're going defense. Okay. But when teams trade up, it might mean a quarterback also.
I mean, they went up 5 spots, and they gave up a piece of next year with that 2019 second round pick. So
I just wonder, you know what I mean? You trade up 5 spots here. Some names have slid down the board. You know what I mean? And the one that really jumps out is Vita VA.
Yes.
Is he the pivot? Maybe they want to move Javon Hargrave to maybe a 5 technique. I don't know. So let's go to the podium and find out. The pick is in, and it's another quarterback, Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State. Gentlemen, what do you think about that particular selection? I know Roethlisberger has been waffling over the last several off seasons in terms of whether or not he's going to return. Does he still have it? I think he just really loves attention, to be perfectly frank. He's a little bit of a drama queen, if you ask me. But is it time to move on? Let me rephrase that. Do you think Rudolph can be an effective replacement for Big Ben in Pittsburgh?
Honestly, I don't see it. But if this is their guy, this is the quarterback that they want, then go up and get him. You can't be too sure. They like what they seen on tape. But what I see on tape, he's big, he's tall. We've seen it, man. T's fall in love with the big, tall guy, but
he looks the part.
Trevor Siemian?
Brock
Osweiler. I'm sorry.
Brock Osweiler. But this guy on tape, what I see is he doesn't have the arm. He's big, tall, but doesn't have the arm. A lot of times I see James Washington streaking down the field and he underthrows.
He has to adjust.
And James Washington has to adjust, which he does a great job of. But You know, he's not going to come in and play right away. We know this because Big Ben's still here. But after 2 years of developing him, maybe they see something in him where he can be a future star, future quarterback in this league.
You know, my early impressions of Mason Rudolph before the season actually started, I thought he had a beautiful deep ball. I thought it was special, man. I thought it would just drop right in the bucket, man. But like Headley said, I've seen, you know, more and more and realized, you know what, that ball's hanging up there for a little while too long. You know,
it's not the Big 12 defense.
No. But with the team he's got though, he's got Le'Veon.
Yeah, it's true.
For now. He's got Antonio Brown, Martavius Bryant. For now.
Juju.
You got Juju. You know, those guys will go up and get the ball, but you don't want to put your receivers in that position to do those things, and this isn't the Big 12. He gets to sit and learn. I mean, I don't know if that's a thing you can fix. Is that a thing you can fix in 2 off seasons if Ben's here for the next 2 years?
Possibly you could fix it. I just think he needs to play with better precision. You know, making reads. He didn't have to do this at Oklahoma State. So if you sit here for 2 years, maybe he could get better at reading and not rely heavily on the deep ball. So, you know, reach. We're going with the reach.
All right. You heard it here, folks. CPGM thinks this was a little bit of a reach, but the GM at Kenneth Burns 11, he believes he has his quarterback of the future. Moving right along, the Carolina Panthers are now on the clock. And gentlemen, they lost a big one in Andrew Norwell. The supporting cast didn't play particularly well last year around Cam Newton. Greg Olsen was hurt. I feel like this team has a lot of holes, a lot of needs. You know what I mean? And the last time I said that, you know, they ended up going 15-1. So I never know what to make of a Cam Newton-led team, particularly when you have Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly on the defensive side of the ball. They did lose Star Lotulelei, so that changes things a bit. Is this a Vita VA spot?
It should be the Vita VA spot. It should be the Mike Hughes spot. It should be the Jari Alexander spot. It should be the Isaiah Wynn spot. It should be the Will Hernandez spot. Any of those players would do just fine, man. If it's me, I'm either going to Isaiah Wynn or I'm going Will Hernandez, whoever's higher on the board at this point. You got to protect Cam Newton. You know, Christian McCaffrey, you know, chopping through the ladder. All that doesn't matter, man. If you can't protect your quarterback, you can't make it out of the backfield.
Sure.
You know, I just Cam has been there for how long? Cam been there? 6 years, 7 years, and they don't get him what he needs, man. Can we?
He's Superman though.
No. Okay. All right, man. If that's the way Carolina want to run it, but Dave Goodham is no longer there. So you know, maybe we got to change another guard here. I just feel like you got to protect Cam Newton, man. Go get you Isaiah Wynn, man. Do the right thing, man.
Do the right thing.
Spike Lee, man. Do the right thing, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent on the board right here, and at positions that the Panthers need.
Sure.
Like you say, Vita VA is still on the board. They need a corner. Jari Alexander, Mike Hughes is still on the board. I think they need a receiver. They need more weapons. It pained me last season to see Cam Newton, you know, play with the receivers he played with, but
Burson?
Yeah, that's his name?
I think that's
Okay, that guy.
You know, it can be Burson.
Yeah. So, you know, there's a lot of receivers on the board. They got Michael Gallup on the board. They got Christian Kirk on the board.
Yep.
A lot of quality receivers. Guard. They could go guard. A lot of guards on the board. So there's a lot of players they could pick from here.
You know what? You just maybe make a change here, man. Listen, you know what? There's so many players on the board. How about you trade back and you scoop up a second round pick, a third round pick, a fifth round pick, a fourth? Just scoop something because there's so many players. You just take whatever's left. Keep trading back until that last player that's available that you're okay with taking, take them.
You subscribe to that? If you have your guy right there, you're going to trade back into that last player?
Listen, there's so many players on the board. Everything's on the board for them right now.
Is it just because there's so many players on the board or that they have so many needs as well?
It's all that.
Okay.
It's where all that meets.
Okay, I got you.
All right. That intersects.
Yes, all that
Wherever that
intersects.
intersects.
Yes.
All right. Well, the pick is in. And it is a cornerback. I'm not sure. It's not Mike Hughes or Jair Alexander. In fact, it is Isaiah Oliver of Colorado, cornerback. I know a lot of people like the measurables in terms of Oliver. What do you guys think about his actual play?
Listen, for me, he's that guy on the playground that, like you say, he got the measurables, man. You before the snap, you're like, damn, that's a good looking guy right there in terms of his physical ability, man. And then you snap the ball, and he's on his guy, he's with his guy, but he doesn't make a play on the ball. So guess what? In the league, you're gonna get picked on. They're gonna pick you every play, whether you there or not. And I would say most of the time he was there. Just at the moment of truth, when the ball's on its way, if it's not lofted up, if it's not a bad pass,
It's completion.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you know, we see this every year, man. Teams fall in love with measurables, the height, the length at the cornerback position. But, you know, I'm a guy that love ball skills.
Yep.
I'm a guy that love the moment of truth. What do you do? And too often times I see Isaiah Oliver just get caught on.
Yep.
You know, he's there, but he doesn't make a play on the ball. And at the next level, I think that could be a detriment to him. There's a lot of corners that we like a lot more than Isaiah Oliver here. But, you know, Carolina, their philosophy, front seven, front four, actually get to the quarterback, and we're going to make plays back there. We're just going to see if Isaiah Oliver can make these plays.
We shall see. Tennessee is on the clock at number 25.
Okay, listen, Tennessee, right now, you should be your guy that's handing into the ticket, the name. It should be Vita Vea, and it should have been right after Goodell said Oliver. As soon as the R came out of Oliver, you should have been there because you tried to get Sue in the offseason. Obviously, he was playing games. He was, you know, doing his thing, trying to get as much money as he could. You didn't get him. Vita Vea can play anywhere on the line of scrimmage. Probably going to be playing next to Jarrell Casey. This guy is unbelievable. Listen, he's going to change the face of that defense, man. Period, man.
Yeah.
Hand the card in. I don't want to talk about no other player but this guy. That's who the pick needs to be.
Yeah, this man has grown man strength.
Yes.
Grown man strength.
That's it?
He said he don't want to talk about no other
I
player.
don't want to talk about it.
Let's talk about
Okay, all right,
We can talk
fair
about Mike Vrabel, and you know he's building that defense.
Yeah.
You know he's trying to get the right pieces. His new head coach over there. I think he's done a great job in free agency.
I agree.
With Dion Lewis and
Malcolm Butler.
Dion Lewis and Malcolm Butler. So I think he keeps adding to that defense. And you're right, man. VA should be the pick here, man. He's gone too far down the board.
The pick is in, and I believe the madness has come to an end. Vita Vea is now off the board. Washington defensive tackle. Drew, you were very passionate about who this pick should be. It is the guy. Tell me about him.
Headley said it, grown man strength. I mean, there were times where this guy was double teamed, triple teamed. It didn't matter, man. He's split the double team. He's manhandling whoever's in front of him. Guard, tackle, center. He played every position in terms of the defensive line. It didn't matter. You know, I wish they had a little bit more of a pass rusher on that team in terms of another guy on the other end or just somewhere else. But I mean, this is the type of guy who's going to free up other people to do things, whether it be from your linebackers blitzing, whether it be off the corner, a nickel corner coming off the side, or just be, you know, Jarrell Casey or another defensive lineman. Man, this guy he's it, man. He's one of the rare ones in this draft, man. There's a couple of rare players, and he's one of them.
I totally agree with you, and you know, not only does he has that grown man strength, that run prowess, but this guy shouldn't be that quick to be that big.
Nope.
Nobody 350 plus pounds should be that nifty,
kind of
that
athlete.
quick, that kind of athlete. We remember Danny Shelton a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
This guy is quicker, faster than Danny Shelton, with probably more strength than Danny Shelton.
Wow. For reaction to this pick, we go to Pickle Rick.
Damn it, I love myself. Pickle Rick!
Coach for Washington, who basically said, you know, he's better than Danny Shelton. Period. He can do more, man. So, you know, and not only, you know, is he heading downfield to get, or trying to get in the backfield. If the ball passes him, he's running that guy down. So high motor, whatever you want to call that's what he got. I mean, like I said, he's rare, man. When you hear the word rare, you know, he's it, man.
Is this a steal of the draft right now?
Yeah. Yep. Because he's a top, to me, he's a top 5 player at 25.
Yeah.
So,
How the hell that happened?
well, I mean, we got picks like Mason Rudolph and Cortland Sutton.
You got to use going back.
Dallas Goddard, you know what I'm saying? Gogurt, you know, I mean, that's what we're talking about. But every year this happens, man. A player who should go in the top 10, top 5 falls for whatever reason, man. You know, I mean, sometimes they fall because they put on gas mask and they, you know, do stupid stuff. But
Yeah, I think players like a like a Vita VA, not like him, but his body type.
Yeah.
They relegate them to 2 down players,
No,
2 down D tackles, and that's why they fall. We've seen
Yeah.
2 down players fall to second round
And they
year
should,
after
though.
year.
They should.
They should. But VA,
No.
he's not that guy.
No, and people, he's just a bull rusher. But what you don't understand is the fastest way to the quarterback isn't necessarily defensive end. It's straight through the D tackle. And if you got a guy who can push his guard, push the guard or the center, or both players back into the quarterback now has to take a step to the left, take a step to the right. Maybe he has to take an extra step backwards, and now the timing of the play is off, and now the window has closed to the number one receiver, number 2 receiver. Now he's looking for his number 3 receiver, and it's not a good place to be. So for those of you who say he can't pass rush, man, I beg to differ. Watch the film.
All right. The Atlanta Falcons are now on the clock, and gents, we're a couple of years removed from a tough loss, a very tough loss.
28-3.
In the Super Bowl to the New England Patriots. Headley, I'm gonna go straight to you here. What do you think Atlanta and GM at Kleptos18 is gonna do with this pick?
I think it's really easy. I think Isaiah Wynn's on the board. That's your guy. He's a Georgia native. Go get Isaiah Wynn. I'm not sure if he's a Georgia native.
Fact check.
But go get Isaiah Wynn. If you say, okay, maybe we get a guard later, go get your D tackle. You lost DeAndre Poe. You lost Adrian Claiborne. Get someone on the defensive line. We have Deron Payne still out there. We have Maurice Hurst still out there. He's a perfect kind of fit for what Dan Quinn likes to do. He likes players that can get upfield, get after the quarterback, use his speed. Tavon Bryan is still up there for the Gators. So, there's a lot of options for them, but the trenches is where the Falcons needs to go.
Your thoughts, Drew?
I can't disagree, man. I don't want them to get any of those players. I want them to be dumb because, I want the Bucs to be able to take advantage of that. I'm selfish.
Wow.
But I'm gonna put my bias aside and do the right thing, man.
Yeah.
Man. I'm gonna second everything Headley said.
All right. Well, the pick is in. And it's not, this is an extension of the offensive line. Tight end Mike Gesicki from Penn State.
This is not an extension of offensive line because this guy can't block.
Oh, man.
He's not the blocker. I understand. When Matt Ryan was at his best. Well, I shouldn't even say that.
No.
Wow.
Let me rewind that.
Yeah.
Because he was at his best 2 years ago. But Austin Hooper. He was I don't know what to say.
Third round
Man.
pick, I believe.
I had nothing to say about this pick, man.
You're at a loss
of words. The tight end position is, I guess, they can improve. Get another tight end.
Certainly.
But there's more pressing needs here for the Atlanta Falcons. And definitely don't like this pick, man. At Kleptos18.
Kleptos18, you have some explaining to do because this is a bad pick. I will tell you, this may be the worst pick in the draft. I don't know. But how do you have Isaiah Wynn on the board and you don't draft him?
He's from Georgia. He's from right there down the street. Go get him.
Man, who's on the clock next, man?
Can we talk about the prospect a little
Man,
bit?
he's Dallas Clark, man. Can we talk about New Orleans? Is New Orleans on the clock, man? Unbelievable. You got some explaining to do. You find me on Twitter, Facebook. Comment on the video, please. I need some answers.
Well, Gesicki, man. He killed the combine.
Yeah, workout warrior.
Athletic. This guy has speed. Workout warrior, like we call him. I think he needs to refine his route running. Oftentimes he runs speed routes. There's no movements to his routes.
No, he's not good when he's running into traffic. He doesn't know when to stop in terms of a hole. He can't find the hole in the zone.
Yeah, the nuances of route running. So he has a way to go. He's my tight end number 2. I do like his upside, but this pick right here,
He's looking too close at your tight end too, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
New Orleans Saints are now on the clock. Gentlemen, the Saints came up just a little bit short on the divisional round against the Minnesota Vikings. Really one of the better seasons the Saints have had over the last 5 years or so. What is it that they need to do in order to get over the hump?
I don't know if this team actually has a super need. Every person they drafted last year pretty much, came through for them. Even though Marcus Williams kind of, was it Williams, he kind of fell apart at the end or whatever, but got caught in between making a decision. But I mean, go best player available, man.
That's what I was about to say, man. This is the perfect position for any team in the draft when they could go best player available.
Yeah.
They don't really have a big need right now. You could say maybe a receiver, maybe a tight end because Kobe Fleener's not it. Get more pass rush, So to me, I would get the best defensive player, man. I'm a defensive guy. I think the Saints have an up and coming defense with Lattimore, Marcus Williams. So get another defender right here. Best defender on the board.
All right, the pick is in, and they do go defense. It's edge rusher Arden Key out of LSU. I know there's some red flags associated with Arden Key. Do you think the risk is worth it here at 27, Headley?
Yeah, I definitely do. Like we just said, the Saints are in a position to get best player available, and he probably is. He could be in terms of talent, the best player on the board. Cam Jordan was a one-man wrecking crew for the Saints, so to add a compliment to him, another guy that can get after the quarterback, I think that would do wonders for that secondary.
I mean, listen, the Eagles, they showed us the formula. Not that we didn't know it, but, it's about pass rushers. It's about the waves. It's not about you got, 2 or 3 good guys. I mean, we've seen J.J. Watt for years dominate. But what are the Texans doing? I mean, obviously, it's not all on him, but they don't have waves. They don't have waves. They got, 3 or 4 stars. But it's about the waves. That's the new thing, I guess. And so you go out and get your R and Key, man. He don't necessarily have to start right away. You got players. You got Cam Jordan.
Be a situational guy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it. I mean, hey, let's go, man. But obviously we talking about the red flags, man. Does he love football, man? So we'll see.
Legitimate question. All right, moving right along. The Seattle Seahawks are now on the clock.
Okay, this is another one. Okay, this is another one who just go to the board. Don't listen. The pick should be in, right? It should have been in before. It should have been in. It should have been in. Go ahead and get Isaiah Wynn. Don't overthink it. Whatever the GM was before, he's out of there. That's who we got in there now. Is RZA 9111 RZA?
RZA.
We got RZA 9111. Wu-Tang. But we got Wu-Tang in here now. He's gonna do the right thing, I hope, and gonna go ahead and secure and make sure that the franchise, Russell Wilson, is protected because again, we every drill, every play can't be a fire drill, man. It can't be Russell. Just what do you call it?
Russell saved me.
Russell saved me.
Yeah, that's the play. That's the play. They say all those words and audibles, but at the end of the day, it's
Russell saved me.
okay.
All right, the pick is in. And Drew, I think you'll be very pleased to know that it is Isaiah Wynn from Georgia.
Wow, bro. The Seattle Seahawks, they work in this draft,
They
man.
did a good job, man.
They started at pick number 18 and they could have got Isaiah Wynn there.
They could have.
They traded down to 23. They could have got Isaiah Wynn there. And they traded back down again to number 28 and still got their player. Got a bunch of additional picks. Hey, man.
Gotta pack it up, man.
Gotta clap it up, man. Good job, RZA.
Isaiah Wynn is the most, he's the definition of technically sound player. He's the definition of technique. He does everything well. He played guard and he played tackle. He played both positions well. Headley seems to think that he plays tackle better than he played guard. Either way, you can move him around. Listen, you did a good job.
Headley, you're the head coach. Pete Carroll. You push Pete Carroll out. You're not the guy calling the shots. Where's Wynn playing along that offensive line for you?
Man, I think he's a tackle, man. To be quite honest with you, man, I'll see what he could do there. Maybe the right tackle because you traded for a left tackle last year in Dwayne Brown. So put him at the right tackle, or you could put him inside. I don't really think it matters. He's going to be a Pro Bowler, man. This guy's that good. Could be an All Pro. I call him the technician.
Why aren't more? I mean, we've obviously been discussing it throughout the draft process. Why aren't more evaluators favoring him as an offensive tackle as opposed to a guard?
It's the size. He's under 6'3". If you're not 6'5" or taller, they're gonna want to push you inside.
Arm length,
yeah. Things of that nature. But when you have a technical standpoint and you can slide out there and you could get your hands in the correct place and you have leverage and you have the correct bend, I think you could be 6'2" and play. I think you can be 6'2" and play tackle just fine in this league.
So let me create a scenario here where you're going against, I don't know, I guess we'll go J.J. Watt. And you're going against the best at his position where he knows where to put his hands and he knows how to dominate, right? And now you're putting Isaiah Wynn at left. at right tackle or at a tackle, period. And he's going against J.J. Watt because they do move him around. You know, and so J.J. Watt knows what he's doing. Isaiah Wynn is obviously coming in and, you know, still learning, but he's technically sound. Do you think J.J. Watt technique going to win, or do you think Isaiah Wynn's technique is going to win? And I think that's what maybe GMs are thinking about on a consistent basis, whose technique is going to win over whom.
Well, if from a technical standpoint, both players push, you're then going to go to the physical attributes, and Watt is long and lean.
So
think
think about Von Miller, think about J.J. Watt, think about JPP, think about all the defensive ends that.
Put JPP in there.
I mean,
How about Khalil Mack?
Khalil Mack. He's probably my head. Sorry. Just think about.
I wonder why.
Think about the top 5 pass rushers in the league, and every 85% of the plays they're technically sound, and 85% of the plays Isaiah Wynn sound. Who's winning? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's when you say, okay, he needs to be put inside, because if you're technically sound inside, and the person you're going against is technically sound inside as well, you can get help from the center if, you know, obviously you said with physical ability comes into play then.
All right. The Miami Dolphins are now on the clock at pick 29, and Headley, they've bounced around this draft board as well. You know, we saw Seattle obviously do a really good job of working the draft board, getting the value and the player that they coveted. The Dolphins have moved from pick 11 into the top 5, and then traded out of the top 5 to the bottom of the first round. I imagine they're going to make a selection here. Ultimately, what are they looking for here? They seem to have a lot of needs.
Yeah. Again, man, best defensive player available. They need help on the front, in the middle, in the back, in the way back. They need help everywhere on that defense, man. Right now, you know, people are pushing Ryan Tannehill out, but I don't think there's a quarterback here that you should reach on. They have enough receivers. They've had a lot of receivers. Even with the loss of Jarvis Landry, I think they're just fine. So defensive player, best player available. That would be my pick for the Miami Dolphins.
You don't think Billy Price, Daniels was?
James Daniels.
James, I don't know why I
No, your boy, the Utah guy, he's still out there, right?
No, I'm thinking center because they lost.
Pouncey?
Yeah, they lost Pouncey. So, you know, my thought is maybe, you know, they go center here, best center guard available here. But I probably lean towards defense. Like you said, at every level they need help. Jesus save them.
All right, we're invoking Christ. The pick is in, and it is Daron Payne, now the 5th Alabama prospect selected in the first round. Ad Dynasty Dorks really worked the draft board here. Seems to get one of the better players, in my estimation, at the bottom of the first round. Drew, what do you think about this selection?
I like the pick, man. You know, Sue's out the door. You know, there's a reason why you got rid of Sue. You know, he's a guy who allegedly not takes the plays off, but does his own thing. And you can't do that within a scheme. There's a reason why we want you to go left in a scheme, or want you to go right. You know, things that are happening beside you or behind you. You know, you're affecting the defense. Daron Payne, man, I call him a bully, man. He's a bully, man. You know, obviously he's coming from the Miami. He's coming from the Alabama, you know, where he's got players and stars all around him, man. The only issue I really have with him, man, is his lateral movement, man.
A little stiff?
You know, a little stiff, man. You know, a little guy going, probably he ain't making it. He ain't getting it. So.
Yeah, man. This is Sue's replacement. You know, they got a guy kind of like Sue, physical, can get into the backfield. So they release Sue, and they get his replacement in the first round of his draft.
I find Payne's athleticism to be a little underrated, though. Saw him catch that pass out of the backfield.
Stop.
The spider Y banana.
Stop.
Spider banana Y.
Stop.
I find it a little underrated. At any rate, the Minnesota Vikings are now on the clock at pick 30. Gentlemen, they hope to get Dalvin Cook back. Obviously, Kirk Cousins is now at the control. What does this team need to do? A really talented group, but they have some expiring contracts with respect to some key players here. They may need to draft a replacement for Stephon Diggs, Danielle Hunter. You know what I mean? They have some question marks here. So what do you think they need to do to continue to move forward and hopefully get a chance at that ring?
Best offensive line available.
Yeah.
We want to run the football. I know they've got Kirk Cousins. The big get in free agency, the big get.
Do they want to run the football though?
They should if they want to win. They have that defense.
Kirk Cousins has a fully guaranteed contract. Fully guaranteed. And you know my thought process when it comes to quarterbacks. When you pay them the money, you have this inherent desire, need to showcase them and put the ball in the air.
Yeah, I would want to run the football, but you can also protect them. I just think it's offensive line, period. The best offensive line on the board. My number one guy is still out there. So Mike McGlinchey, I think that would be an excellent pick for these guys.
The number one tackle.
My number one tackle. If they want to go inside the guard, Will Hernandez is out there. Billy Price, if they want a center. Offensive lineman, period. The defense is ready to go. The defense is championship ready. So just building that offensive line, protecting Kirk Cousins or running the ball with Dalvin Cook, I think that'd be their biggest need there.
I know you said about Kirk Cousins is $84 million guaranteed. Can I get a little bit, please? I'm on Twitter. Come find me. It's the Dalvin show, man, and we saw we got a glimpse of what Dalvin is and what he's about. State. For me, you got to go offensive line here, man, because it does two things, man. Protects your quarterback and it helps the run game, man. So and part of the season, the O-line. They played pretty good, man, and then it just, as the season wore on, I don't know if it was injuries or
I think attrition really
just took its toll, right? Yeah, man, let's just go get the best offensive lineman available, man, whether it's guard, center, whatever it is, man. Do the right thing, man. Let's come on, Spike Lee. We got a Spike Lee again all day.
Yeah, third Spike Lee.
There's quite a few spots.
Hey, I mean, I'm trying to help people out here, man. Let's
All right, the pick is in. And they do go offensive line. It's offensive tackle Mike McGlinchey out of Notre Dame. Drew, your thoughts on this particular prospect?
I like to pick just, obviously we talked about they need to go offensive line here. They went in, they got Mike McGlinchey. When we talk about this guy, man, he's a better pass pro blocker than he will be a run blocker. But I do believe when it comes time, when he's fully developed player, I believe his run block and his pass block will be on par with each other. I think he's going to be a very balanced offensive lineman.
McGlinchey, I feel he's the safest tackle in the draft. You know exactly what you're gonna get when he lines up. He's a starter, plug and play starter. I call him the forgotten guy because he's next to Quentin Nelson, and everyone has their eye on Quentin Nelson. But McGlinchey is solid. I like him. He's a technician. I do like his run blocking. I like how he pulls to the next level. The weakness on McGlinchey though is his core strength. Sometimes he can get overpowered a bit, but hit the weight room, son, and block for Dalvin Cook, and I guess you could protect Kirk Cousins while you're at it.
You guess.
Just throw that in there as well.
It's a Dalvin show. You said it.
Headley, what do you think in terms of the pantheon of recent offensive tackles? The classes haven't been great per se. Not that classic top 5 guy.
Yeah.
Just forget about it. Just plug him in for 10 years and forget about it. Where does McGlinchey rank in terms of Ryan Ramczyk from last year? Who do you favor in terms of those two prospects?
Ramczyk. Ramczyk by a lot too.
Yeah,
I think Ramczyk was a top 10 talent in the draft. He was my number 1 tackle last season. He was the technician before I gave Isaiah Wynn the name the technician. This guy was just he never got beat. Like he was always in place, in the right place, hand placement. He just did it time after time after time, and that's what you kind of want with your offensive lineman, consistency. And Ramczyk over McGlinchey, definitely.
All right, at NFL Draft Talker gets his guy. The New England Patriots are on the clock at 31.
To get more athletic on defense.
Get some
Athleticism, get some playmakers on there. They go to the Super Bowl every season.
Sure.
But it's because of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady just makes everyone better on that offensive side of the football. They just need some more guys on defense to make some big plays. I know they were out Dante Hightower last season. You're getting him back, but you added Adrian Claiborne to your defensive line, and Danny Shelton to your defensive line. But these guys aren't super athletic. We want an athlete out there. We need a chase down guy, somebody that could get to the ball carrier quickly or in coverage.
Make a play on the football.
Make a play on the football.
Yep.
Everybody can't be a role player, man. They could go off the line here. They did lose Nate Solder in free agency. They could go at Orlando Brown. I mean, hey.
Orlando, that's the guy.
That's my guy.
Yeah, he clearly has fallen down boards primarily due to the combat performance. I'm not sure how he did in terms of the interviews, but certainly he's plummeting.
Yeah.
The pick is in. And it's a very Patriot-like selection, if you ask me. Leighton Vander Esch, Boise State. He's gained a lot of steam here lately. Drew, what are your thoughts on this particular prospect?
I mean, I'm looking at my notes here, man. Getting inside alignment, shed blocks, and positions himself to make the play on the ball carrier. It's kind of ridiculous the way he can shed the blocks and position himself to make the play on the ball.
Textbook,
man. That's you know what? That's why he got drafted just now.
Yeah.
That's exactly why he got drafted just
Fundamentally,
now. Fundamentally, sound player, man. Great measurables. He mixes it up, man. He don't mind sticking his head in there and smashing with whomever, guard, center, fullback, running back, doesn't matter, man. He's old school mentality, man. Good anticipatory, got it right here. Anticipatory blitzer, man. He times it up right every time. I don't know if he knew the cadence, he knew the snap, but he was good at it, man, inside or outside. The only issues I had with him really, man, was his closing speed, man, looked to be in question. I don't believe him to be a man-to-man guy, but he may not have to do that in the zone scheme that the New England Patriots run, so it may not even matter.
I think he's a Patriot. The Patriot way. This guy's a high motor, technical tackling machine. I said it in another video we did. I think he could someday lead the league in tackles. Yep. He just gets to the ball carrier. He does a really good job also of getting through the trash. Yep. Very aware player on the football field. So the Patriots are going to love this guy, man. This guy does everything that the Patriots want to do, and I think he's a bit athletic. He's more athletic than the guys that they have, the Van Noys and of the world and those other guys out there.
All right. We're coming up to the end of the first round of the CPGM Interactive Mock Draft. Catch all the details and full analysis at www.couchpotatogm.com. The Buffalo Bills, the second of their 2 first-round selections. What did the Bills do here? They took Lamar Jackson. I know the last time we talked about the Bills at 22, if I'm not mistaken. We thought maybe, address the offensive line, defensive line, maybe the second level of the defense. What do you think they do with this pick right here, considering the players that are left on the board?
Take the top player on the board. Man. You got your quarterback. I guess A.J. McCarron, he's not starting.
I think it's going to be an open competition.
Okay.
No, he's not starting at all. No, it's Lamar's team. Yep.
I'm
fairly certain of that. Having on good authority.
Yeah. Yeah, CPGM Juice. I see him, the GM, man. He made some moves, man. Just take the top player on the board, man. Maybe you go out and you get a corner, man. You pair it up, man. You make sure that you got Tre'Davious, who was a baller last season, took care of business. Proved to everybody that he's more than just a shadow. He can press. He can play zone. He can play whatever.
Covered Gronk. Frustrated him. Frustrated the hell out of him.
Until he got. How about we go out and we get the top corner, man? How about we go out and we get Jari Alexander for the other side, man? Because EJ Gaines didn't come back, right?
No,
so,
I think so.
Yeah, so hey, man, let's shore that up.
Yeah, I'd be excellent value in Jari Alexander. They could go pretty much anywhere on defense. They have some holes there. They could get a weapon for Lamar Jackson. You say it's a Lamar show, but he needs somebody to throw to.
Absolutely.
Is Zay Jones? Is he coming back? Last time I seen him, he was in the hotel.
Crashing through windows.
So we'll see what the Buffalo Bills do, but I think they could get best player available there, maybe on defense.
All right. Well, the pick is in. And it is CPGM's top cornerback, Jair Alexander, at 32. Foundational position. Headley, you mentioned it, great value. What do you like about Alexander's game?
Instincts, ball skills, makes a play on the football, swag, attitude. This guy has it all, man, all in one package. The biggest concern for him is he needs to stay on the field.
Sure.
He dealt with his share of injuries. With Trey White and Jair Alexander, that's a dynamic duel for years to come. Teams are going to have a difficult time passing the football on these guys. And they position themselves also with a lot of picks later in the draft also. So I think the Buffalo Bills are doing a fantastic job here.
Yeah, man. I mean, Headley said it, man. You said everything that guy is, man. Because of his style of play is why maybe he gets injured so much, So, I mean, he's an intense player, man, and you kind of want that in your corners, man. And so, was it McDermott? He had, a Josh Norman. Maybe he found his Josh Norman in terms of attitude and instincts.
All right. that's going to wrap up the first round of the 2018 CPGM Interactive Mock Draft. Again, full analysis at www.couchpotatogm.com. If you're watching this video, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. There's a ton of NFL draft content at the aforementioned www.couchpotatogm.com. For Headley, Drew, this is CPGM Juice. We're signing off.